Alright, welcome back everybody. Turn 40, and this is going to be a big one. There's a lot going on, and the game may end very soon. You notice that I do not have the messages pulled up right now. So first I'd like to call your attention to the situation here. Lemuria went and, in blatant violation of our NAP, attacked me and attacked these two provinces in an attempt to try to keep me from getting to my throne. Basically, they are throne rushing. So, if you recall the victory conditions for this game, there's relatively few thrones for how many players are in it. Just these 8 thrones, you need 4 to win. I've got 1. Gondwana has 1, Arcosophalia has 1, and everyone else has 0, but Lemuria is making a bid for 4 of them. One of them is this one of mine. One of them is this one here, which is also here. It's kind of interesting in and of itself that these thrones are just 2 provinces away from each other. One of them is here, which they control and just have elected not to claim yet. And I believe the other one is this one. So we're going to see how that plays out, and obviously that messes with my plans. You see I've got some troops there. What he may not have realized is that many of my troops have sailing, so I can just boat over the water and bring reinforcements. So these guys that are coming in are kind of just going around to get to that. So we're going to have a pretty fucking epic battle here. They've got 930 ghosts. I guess I'll pull up the actual number when we get to that battle. And I have many fewer troops. This province has just 14 troops. This one has 80, and this one has 39, so that's 140 troops total. But I do have a ton of mage power, and well, you can see the spells I'm planning to sling and make your judgment calls. So that's one thing. The most important thing. So we're gonna go over the messages, the battle plan there, other battles of note, because I'm still fighting Gondwana, and you see that the sub for Gondwana actually made a push into my territory. So I'm going to potentially battle them. And what else? Oh yeah, one thing that I think turn 40 is a great time to do, like basically every 20 turns or so, although I kind of dropped the ball in turn 20, is to give you kind of a recap for my perspective of how I think this game has gone. I know some folks online like to boast about their super high win rates in Dominions, and it's hard to win a game of Dominions. There's, let's see, 11 total players in this game. So to come out on top, statistically, you're going to do that 9% of the time. And some nations are more powerful than others, although more powerful nations tend to be ganged up on. That's what happened to Ulm here. It did not happen to Lemuria, and Lemuria is one of the most powerful snowbally nations in the game. And so we'll come back to that type of discussion later. But for right now, let's look at the messages, and you will immediately notice Pangea decided to give me a death basket. I did not ask for a death basket. It's I could see some folks being bitter about this because Death Basket is a massive power swing that I didn't really earn. That said, it's their choice to give their stuff to whomever they want, and diplomacy is a big part of this game. People can and absolutely do team up with each other and do actions out of spite and malice and intrigue and whatever else. So, Death Basket is a thing, and this is a hell of a basket. Ultimately, I don't think that this is going to swing the game in a breaking way. So that happened. Cast acknowledged to see what's causing all this trouble here, and was disappointed. There was only one site that I hadn't found, and it doesn't even make gems. So if the game wasn't maybe about to end right away, I would be quite upset. But as it is, meh. I mean, I guess quite upset is exaggeration. It's annoying. Found a magic site in the swamps, so this is this well that makes water. Magic site in a main, so I can recruit centaur chariots. Whoop-de-doo. These guys might be an okay recruit in the early age. I guess, yeah, it doesn't matter. Magic site in Ograthon, so that's a nature site. Updated Scoregrass from Gondwana, which we'll check out later. Battle in Grey Mountains. I'm going to spoil these battles just because I don't really want to click through all of them. So here, Lemuria sent in a raiding party with a bunch of ghosts and ran into a bunch of PD. Here is the battle where they're attacking my throne province, and obviously they're going to completely crush my PD, but this gives us a chance to see exactly what they brought to the table. And you see a shit ton of ghosts. If you do not recall what Lemuria's free spawn looks like, it's this. So they are ghosts with magic attacks. No protection, but they are ethereal, and evidently some of them can get diseased. Salt vulnerability, that was introduced with the Ubar patch, and both the spear and the javelin. They have 2 javelins. So that's a bunch of those ghosts. Then they've got these spirits. They have terrible stats and only 1 HP, but they do have this paralyzed attack and ethereal, so they can kind of gum up the works. Paralyzed attack doesn't actually do damage, but it can paralyze you so that then the other guys can get some work done. And they soak up attacks and evocations and shit like that. Here we've got a Shadow Tribune, so this guy likes it when it's dark, and I guess one thing that is noteworthy, all of these undead are not mindless, which means that I can't single out the guys that I want to mess up with a mind burn or something like that. But on the flip side, they have actual morale as opposed to infinite morale. We've got a Centurion. Who else is here? Shade Beast. So this is a puppy that turns you into a zombie if he kills you. Shades. I'm just looking for anything that's different. This guy, Grand Lemur. Grand Lemurs are boss. They get at least 2 astral and 2 death, along with some other stuff. He's got a skull staff and a crap ton of death gems, which means that it's not going to happen for this battle because PD isn't enough to bait it out, but he has plans of the rigor mortis variety. These guys also have Immortality 3, so if I do manage to kill him, then I have not fully resolved the problem. To do so, I need to soul slay him, which I do have, but we will see. Some more of these guys, and then Grand Lemur, so that's another of those guys. This guy doesn't have any gems though, and then yet another one. I don't see communion slaves for those guys, so I think he's planning on just pounding out rigor mortis with gems straight up, which makes sense. I guess he could cast that astral spell that gives you +1 to all paths, although I don't think he brought any pearls with him. Alright, so let's see my folks make a fight of it. Alas, PD, I know them well. So, that said, still 24 of these ghosts died, but like these are the 1 HP ones. There's still 176 of them left. 166 of them left, sorry. Then they've got, this is the exact number of free spawn ghosts that they have. Alright, me attacking in Gehenna. This was, which bird was this? TNT. There's actually a decent amount of PD over here, but this PD is all bad. So, buffing, flying, killing, and now everybody's scared. So, TNT strategically took out the commander, and then everyone else had had enough. Alright, how many troops did I even kill there? 9 out of 94. That's hilarious. Can watch this battle between Gondwana and Narcosophale. So this is Gondwana retaking a province that Arco had raided. Looks like there's just some random PD. Gondwana is bringing these guys. I don't know how they actually get these guys, if they're summoned or something. I guess they have an upkeep cost, so probably not a summon. But they have okay-ish stats. I guess it depends on how cheap they are. Like, these stats are below regular light infantry, don't get me wrong. But they're amphibians with 2 attacks and a net, and nets are strong. What's over here? More of those guys. So let's go ahead and watch this. And the nets do what nets do. Because those guys have shit morale, they end up running away. But Gondwana is still able to overwhelm the PD. Right. Me raiding Pangea, who, there's some irony there, since Pangea just gave me a death basket, but I didn't know they were giving me a death basket, and it doesn't really matter. So this is Hell's Bells going through its buff cycle. And surprise for Hell's Bells that there's actually a decent number of troops on the other end of this raid. Alright. Hell's Bells is supposed to fly to the back and start biting people, but it couldn't finish its script because these guys, the cataphracts, were fast enough to catch up and interrupt them, basically. So then Cataphracts were beating up Hell's Bells, and it decided, fuck this. So it retreated to the woodlands after killing one Hoplite. Right. This is Gondwana attacking me, which is noteworthy just to see what they end up throwing at my PD. So, Transmaster. I believe that is the nature communion that some of the sing-songy races have. So, there's this communion slave, and then this guy's a communion master. He's got 4 slaves, so that's these 3 plus him, which means he gets +2 to all of his paths. Which is powerful. Not only because communions communions themselves are powerful, but also because that brings him up to Priest 5, so he can do Priest 5 bullshit. Good number of these birds. And then these Elchi bows over here. Okay. So the total count from there, I guess I should have had this scout set to retreat. They've got 12 of these birds, and then 2 of these big boys. Big boys are a problem. They have low morale, so if I can basically pierce through their... Well, if I can get them scared, then you can do the elephant thing where then they run over their own guys. Although all this 14 protection is natural. And they've got more HP than elephants. I don't know if this was a wise move for Gondwana to recruit these guys, because 250 a pop is fucking expensive. But regardless, they're big-ass sacreds that I'm going to have to deal with. Maybe. I mean, if Lemuria just wins, then I'll have to deal with. This is Lemuria trying to stop me from reinforcing. I had only a minimal amount of PD and I killed 1 ghost. Same thing happened over here, where I didn't get any ghosts. This is I had a bird sitting on this province and it flew away to cause trouble somewhere else. This is a battle between Arco and Gondwana. I forget if this is an interesting one. It is an interesting one. There's quite a bit of bad PD over here, and there's Gondwana's usual raiding force over here. I'm going to put it on turbo though. You've seen this play out in the past. And yep, these guys still have body ethereal, so they're able to mulch through these guys without taking casualties, and once the PD starts taking casualties, it runs away. If this PD had been crossbowmen instead of regular archers, then things might have gone a bit differently. Because not all of these guys got ethereal cast on them. But as it was a rout in favor of Arcocephale, who only lost 3 hoplits. Free gems, some water gems floated up, some gold. If they haven't had to deal with enough this whole game, then a bunch of bandits just stormed their capital, so that's kind of hilarious. I'm breached over here. 1,000 ghosts will do that. Lack of supplies in the curtain wall, but I will soon be out of there, so not too worried about that. And then the Eternal Knights, that's this guy and his crew. So he's got a flambeau, which is strong against undead, not only for the damage it does, but also it gives them the ability to cast Holy Pyre. And he's got regen, so that's fine. So I'm sending him to basically grab back one of the Lemurian provinces on the hope that I survive. And you see that he is casting luck on all of his knights, not bothering with my bless because it's not that big a bless, but then just spamming at Holy Pyre. So I think there's a good chance that that crew can retake these provinces that Lemuria raided. Alright, so let's look at the battle plan. Everybody here is going to break the siege. Why are they breaking the siege? Because then all of these boat people can join in at the same time. And what are they doing? We've got Wind Guide, so all of the archers that are coming along should be able to fire accurately, and then close out with Thunderstrike before we end up falling asleep anyways from Rigor Mortis. Some of these guys are these air-water cross paths, which there's not really much to do, so they're casting ice darts and hoping something good happens. Despite the fact that it's named ice darts, so far as I can tell, this isn't actually a cold spell. I'm kind of counting on that, so if these guys, I mean, not counting on that, but I wouldn't have chosen to spam it out if it were cold. But so far as I can tell, these are not cold spells. They just have these freezing dart effect that is cold. So these should actually be able to hurt the ghosts pretty effectively. Flaming arrows, and then make a crap ton of fire elementals. Fire elementals will not be as good as they could be because they have magic weapons that can cut through the elementals ethereal, but there should be a lot of them, and there is a pairing there. These guys live in clouds, similar story, more ice darts, commune slaves. This guy is going to cast Marble Warriors, and so the hope is that I can get some stone skin on those elementals that I'm summoning. Similarly here, we've got Living Clouds, so want to stone skin those guys too, and then go ahead and lucky a bunch of guys. Just spamming out Thunderstrike. A Slave Mind, I decided to throw that in there and try it. I don't know who it's actually going to target, but if I can pull off an Slave Mind on some key commanders, then that'd be glorious. Again, it's much harder to do against Lemuria since all of their guys have minds. They may be dead, but they still think. But I'm going to try it. What else am I going to do? And more elementals. So that's this crew. Then we've got this crew. So we've got some more commune slaves, and more elementals, and the priests that I do have are spamming Banish. This is AoE 4 armor negating 4 that also comes with Earth Melt. So 4 armor negating damage is not enough to take out a ghost, like one of the free spawn ghosts, but it will take out one of the possessed ghosts. So it also costs no fatigue, so these guys should be able to spam it all day. And then we've got these guys. So got Hail of Fire. This shoots a bunch of fireballs. So I decided, I'm trying a mix of things. I probably should have just picked one thing that works well and stuck to it, but I'm not sure what that is. And I didn't math out exactly how big my communion's going to be, but this shoots more fireballs as you have more fire magic, and he's going to finish fire, so he's going to have a lot of fire magic. Dooms, that just curses all of them. There's no save or resistance, they just get cursed. Anti-magic, so I can buff myself. Maybe protect myself from... Actually, I should switch the order of those. Let's do anti-magic first, and then doom. I don't know if doom protects from rigor mortis, I assume not, but it seems like a solid spell to cast regardless. I said doom, I meant anti-magic. And then some more luck. Living water, frozen warriors. So this is, I believe, a spell added in Dominion's Enhanced, but it's a powerful water spell. It's basically like Marble Warriors, but in water. It doesn't have as big of an area of effect, but it gives you cold aura and cold resist, as opposed to cold vulnerability. Now, Lemuria's ghosts do not have a cold aura, so I'm not worried about the cold vulnerability from the folks that get Marble Warriors, but that said, Frozen Warriors should be a great fit for me. And then, got two birds that I still need to script, so what are you going to do? Let's see, is there anything better to do against ghosts? Not with one air and one earth, so I'm just going to do that. And then he should be on the same script. Oh no, he is air 2. Okay, so you need a script. Make you Community Master. Now, Mist Form will not help me. I can cast Personal Luck, and that'll help the Communion stick around. So let's go ahead and do that. But he is not going to have any gems. That's only underwater. Frozen Heart is obviously not going to do shit. I thought about casting Orb Lightning instead of Thunderstrike, because 26 armor negating damage is hugely overkill for this. That said, 5 is not quite enough. And this Thunderstrike hits 1 square, so that's 3 ghosts, plus has the AoE to hit 6 area of effect, so I guess 18 more ghosts for 2 apiece. In contrast, Orb Lightning hits chaining 5, so I think that's 5 ghosts. So I don't really get why you would Orb Lightning rather than Thunderstrike. Yes, Thunderstrike requires another air, but it's just... And Thunderstrike also has a higher fatigue cost, but it's just so much better. Unless I'm missing something, which I might be. The other spell that I was considering casting, and I might have this guy do it just because I'm curious to see if it works, but I probably won't. Anyway, the spell I'm considering is Lowly Solar Rays. But this guy should nuke a square of undead, so 3 ghosts, I guess, unless they cast darkness. But no, I'm just going to stick to Thunderstrike. Nice and simple there. So you got to hear me humming and hawing there. birds do still need a name. So let's see. Shoot at the hail. My other bird is way up over here, so he's not going to be able to get involved in this action. The reason I'm having the bird fly over here is because this guy's going to try to seduce, so maybe I can seduce him over into one of these provinces. Seems worth a try. It'll be fun. So yeah, that's it for this battle. It's going to be exciting. I'm probably going to lose. Rigor Mortis plus his comically large numbers are probably going to be too much for me, but I will make a fight of it, and there will be lots of cool animations. Alright, I've also got a battle going on over here, and I do not, well, Gondwana might very well just end up piecing out and continuing to attack here, or attacking here under the assumption that I won't be there anymore. I was even considering just going straight for his fort. Although, how much siege strength do I have? 290? Yeah, it's not going to take out his fort in one turn. So, in any case, let's look at that crew. And not everyone's coming along. I'm leaving the sages at home, as well as the alchemists that are hanging on to homunculus jars. Although, yeah, let's actually bring one more alchemist with me. So, you can drop that junk, and you can pick it up. Alright, and then you can get a script. Yeah, let's just drop some rocks. Alright, so let's look at this. Lots of frozen warriors, try to ice everybody up. Wind Guide, Doom. Doom is lots of fun. Not only is it a battlefield-wide spell that cannot be resisted, but even if you lose, their whole army is still cursed. Which I don't expect to lose this battle, but it's a nice kind of fallback there. Lots of communion slaves, because all of these diplomats are going to be chanting. Marble Warriors, Mods of the Earth. So maybe I don't need the Marble Warriors with... Yeah, I probably don't need the Marble Warriors if I'm going to be spamming out Frozen Warriors anyways. I thought about Earthquake, but that does too much damage to myself. So the other thing I thought about is Swallowing Earth, but Swallowing Earth, again, that does too much damage to myself. What's that do? I can ethereal a bunch of my dudes, but not with that guy. Petrify only petrifies one square of dudes, although it does basically take that square out. Now let's just do more Mods of the Earth. It's a good spell. Who's Doom Guy? He's only got the one Astral Pearl, and I don't think I have any more to spare, which is surprising given how many free ones I got. But I can alchemize a couple. Yeah, let's go ahead and alchemize a couple. I don't need this many nature gems. Alright, now you can have all those astral pearls that I will soon probably let go to waste. But that will let me cast Ether Warp, which will be fun. Let's even do that twice. Get a whole bunch of ethereal in here. and Gondwana notably does not have magic weapons on all of their dudes. So ethereal and mist form and like fog warriors, those are actually effective. This guy is going to be hanging out to this crystal matrix, but I realized that I don't actually have enchantment 5, so I can't just spam out skeletons. So instead I'm going to spam out shadow blasts, which is obviously very good. Then this here bull is going to drop Syllable of Sleep to start with, so that'll, well, put a bunch of guys to sleep, and then follow it up with nasty nature stuff until it runs out of gems. I don't need to howl, that's silly. Howling is funny, but it's so expensive, it costs 3 gems. This guy makes Astral Pearl each turn, so I can cast Ether Warp and he'll have an Astral Pearl to cast it with, I think. Or he'll definitely have one the following turn. And then the rest of the guys are just dropping rocks, because rocks solve everything. Okay, so that is all of my communions going to war. Still got a little less than 1,000 points of research with which I'll be finishing up construction, because if somehow I survive this thing, then I'm going to drop Forge of the Ancients. This monolith is fun, but I'm not going to bother with that. Become Golem is also fun, but, well, again, we'll see what comes there. And I can summon these guys too. And then after that I'll finally clean up enchantment, and there's lots of goodies there. But that's all predicated on me surviving, which, like I said, I probably will not do. So we'll see. That's it for scripting. The last thing that I wanted to talk about for this turn is just kind of a recap of how this game has gone. Decisions I could have made better, decisions that I think ended up pretty well. Pretender and Bless. I think that this is a strong Pretender. He's got good stats. The free spawn of the ethereal beasties without having to do anything is a nice touch. For Bless, the magic resistance was from a temple or something, not a temple, throne, but just some solid goodies. It's not a crazy strong Bless, and I don't think this nation needs a crazy strong Bless. You might say, well, BC, if you didn't need a Bless, then why'd you take an Awake Pretender? And my scales, they're not bad. Sure, I could have had this guy going to sleep and gotten better scales, but then, like, this guy is able to take a jacket and expand. So I think I made the right call with my Pretender. Like, there's almost certainly a better Pretender for this nation, but I think that this was fine. I was regretting not having nature. It was a godsend that I got these horticulturalists, but even a single point of nature lets you summon the Lars and then go crazy with nature, and nature's obviously very powerful. So I haven't played much Late Age, you can probably tell from watching this, and like in other ages, you can always count on there being indies somewhere to recruit a single point of nature, so that's why I didn't really worry about it. But maybe that was a mistake. Well, nothing to do about that now. But it was an interesting lesson. Strategically, so you recall that my expansion early on was shit, and part of that was that I should have practiced this expansion more. I lost a couple of expansion parties. I probably should have bid more for the mercenaries. I was relying on my national discount, and I ended up letting them go. And it doesn't help that we have a decent number of mercenaries now, but we didn't at the beginning of the game. So definitely should have practiced expansion more. 12 provinces a turn 12, I think, is what I got, which is like quite abysmal. Geopolitics. I know a lot of people watching this, and probably, well, I don't think a lot of people were watching it, but amongst the people who watched it, many people were probably cringing, like, BC, why didn't you go to war? Why didn't you get more land, eat somebody early on? And I was not in a position to eat somebody, so I do not regret my choice to stay out of the major battles and just consolidate my strength. I was able to basically mooch territory off of Ulm without having to fight for it. I made some good progress against Gondwana, like basically got this fort for free, and I expect these battles to go well for me. Maybe he's got some sort of trick up my sleeve that up his sleeve that I'm not accounting for. But biding my time, like if I had just warred someone early on, then I probably would have just lost early on. So I do not regret that decision. In terms of score graphs, so Gondwana is still just ahead of me in provinces. Although part of that is because Lemuria surprise took 3 of my provinces. But I stayed in a good amount of territory. Not Gondwana levels of territory, but a solid amount. Lemuria had a ton of forts, which is downright terrifying. Yeah, I guess. And I mean, not only is forts and probably one of the most important metrics of your nation, because not for Lemuria, but for most nations, forts equals mage recruitment. But to top it off, that huge amount of forts also gives Lemuria like bonus free spawn and gems and stuff like that. So yeah, that is Lemuria's victory on a chart. I did pass Gondwana in forts, so that's fine for me. I had actually a lead in forts back over here, but then Lemuria had the lead pretty much ever since then. Income, so Gondwana lost a lot of money income. I went climbing up steadily, and Lemuria, they're a pop kill nation, so they had very low for a while, and they had poor scales on top of that, but eventually, because of their huge amount of territory, they ended in a decent spot for them. Gem income, so which one is, I don't know, I guess maybe gem income doesn't update when you infiltrate, so I don't know where they're at right now, but I ended up in a good spot there. Research, I dominated research, which maybe is another spot that I could have improved at, because while I had a lot of research, I was not very focused. So you see I've got 7s and 6s in lots of fields, as opposed to grabbing a 9 in one of them. Not quite sure what 9 I would have gotten, actually. Maybe alteration, just because there's so many goodies along the way. Liquefy is very powerful and very easy for me to cast, so I probably should have gone up to alteration 8 at the expense of something. Don't know quite what that something would have been. Let's see, magma skin. So this is kind of the reverse of Liquid Warriors. It gives stone skin to 25 area worth of troops, as well as a heat aura. Magma skin would probably be very effective against Lemuria, and I can't cast it. So that was definitely a big strategic mistake, was not picking up magma skin. That's only underwater. I don't care about these fire resistance things or cold resistance. Will of the Fates, so that luckies all my crew, although it costs a crap ton of astral gems, astral pearls. And this is just hilarious, but wouldn't have helped me at all. And then the level 9s, of course, are the boss spells that you're used to. So, Army of Gold, Army of Lead, slow motion. Yeah. So, I probably should have maybe ignored the higher levels of conjuration, because I had plans for summoning some of my cool angels and stuff, but those plans did not come to fruition, and I could have foreseen that those plans were not coming to fruition because I just didn't have the gems for them. So I should have cut my losses with conjuration, stuck at 5, which is a good, 5 gets you elementals, that's the breaking point there. It gets me these laws so I could break into nature. Should have stuck there and instead ramped up alteration. Not sure how I feel about my choice to go all the way up to Thaumaturgy 6. We'll see if Enslaved Mind ends up working for me. Release Throne Power was fun, but not worth researching that much on its own. I think there was something else that I was considering getting in Thaumaturgy, but yeah. Going up this high in Thaumaturgy was probably also a mistake. I should have gotten less Thaumaturgy, less Conjuration, and focused on Alteration. What else? Oh, did I go through the whole score graph? Oh, Dominion. Lemuria has massive Dominion, and I do not. Army size. Lemuria has tons of free spawn. Let's see. I was behind Gondwana for a while before actually passing them, despite their large amount of territory. I was ahead of Arcosafale the whole time. And then section points. Currently I'm winning, but that will soon change. So yeah, I think I made a good play of it, especially considering my poor start. I do not regret my decision to not attack Lemuria. I don't have anything, I didn't have anything good to throw at them, really. I could have forged some fire astral sticks and tried to smack them around with those, but they've just got so many ghosts, and they've got those immortals that keep coming. It would have been a terrible matchup for me. It would have been my hopes of fighting Lemuria took the form of counting on my neighbors to do it for me, which they made a valiant effort of it, but ultimately just the hordes of free spawn that rigor mortis were too much for them. That's something that I probably could have done better, is to try to more actively fund my neighbors in their war efforts. I don't know quite what I could have given them that wouldn't have directly hurt me, but well, that's something for me to think about more. So we've got some exciting battles coming next turn. This one has been a long one. Thank you for joining me, and we will see what happens in the exciting turn 41.